Hi everyone, and welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I'll be talking about something completely new to my channel, and that is starting a print-on-demand store with Shopify. This is something I've been wanting to try for a while now because I feel like there's so many additional benefits to starting your own print-on-demand website as opposed to using sites like Redbubble or Society6. So in this video, I'll be sharing some of the benefits of starting out on Shopify compared to some of the other print-on-demand platforms, and a few of the cons just so you know what you're getting into. I'm going to turn this into a mini series about starting my own print-on-demand shop on Shopify from start to finish because I feel like it's way too much information for one video and I feel like I wouldn't want to watch a video that long. So I'm going to break it up into smaller segments so that each one has its own specific topic so that you can follow along, and if you wanted to, you could start your own Shopify store with this series as well. But before I get into the pros, don't forget to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel for more videos from me. Pro number one is that you have a lot more freedom. As you might have guessed, having your own print-on-demand platform or website gives you a lot more freedom than typical sites like Redbubble, Society6, even Amazon merch, because you're in complete control, so you can really do whatever you want with a site. So this means that you can upload any type of design you want without having to wait for it to get approved. So on some sites, you do have to get your designs approved, like Amazon merch and even Redbubble sometimes. I'm not sure about any other ones because I've never had to do that approval process for other ones, but I'm sure there's more out there. So that can be annoying, and it can definitely take some time to get that stamp of approval. And sometimes you might even get rejected for no apparent reason. But if you have your own shop, then you can post whatever you want, whenever you want, as long as it's within like copyright and trademark laws. You always have to be aware of that. But if you're not ripping anyone off or ripping anyone's design off, then it should be totally fine. Another freedom you have is that you can set your own pricing. So unlike Redbubble, where you would have to stay within the same range as other artists because you want to be competitive and you don't want to be the most expensive artist on the platform, on a Shopify site, you can charge whatever you want essentially because you're creating your own brand. So there is a little bit more value in that. Of course, don't go crazy with the pricing because people won't want to buy everything if it's way overpriced, but there is room to charge a little bit of a premium compared to your typical print-on-demand platforms. Pro number two is that you can choose your own domain name. Since you'll have your own website, you have the benefit of choosing whatever domain name you want, and that can really embody your store and your brand a lot better than a Redbubble or Society6 domain name that just has a bunch of random letters and characters. So this part of the video is actually sponsored by Get.Store Domains. They're a domain registration website where you can buy .store domains for your website. A little bit more about them. .store is a domain extension exclusively for e-commerce stores. The word store means a place where you can go to purchase something, and by sharing this sentiment in your domain name, you make it easy for your customers to understand who you are and what you do. The .store domain name allows you to build a credible brand and makes it easy for your customers to find and connect with you, which is essentially what you're going for when you're starting a print-on-demand store with Shopify. Here are some of the benefits of a .store domain name. Number one, its availability. You have access to a huge pool of short and quality domain names that you might not have access to with a .com extension. This means that you don't have to compromise the brand name that you really want, because normally almost 70% of .com availability checks actually fail, so you won't find this problem with .store domains. Number two, it saves you marketing dollars. Your .store site instantly tells people that it's a store where they can actually shop at, and it does some of the marketing for you in that sense. Number three, it's relevant and represents your brand. For example, with a brand name like homegrocery.store, you can make an instant connection with your customers and right away they'll know what you're selling. And finally, it's memorable. It creates a meaningful brand name that registers in your customer's mind very quickly. Close to 500,000 online store owners like Emirates Airlines, Cristiano Ronaldo, Khaled, PewDiePie, and Kindle already trust .store with their brand name. If you're interested in securing your own .store name today, make sure to check out the link in my bio. They're giving my viewers a huge discount of getting their first domain name for only $1.99 as opposed to their usual $29. So definitely make sure to check that out. So those are some of the biggest pros to being able to choose your own domain name, but now let's move on to pro number three. So my next pro is that you can create a real brand. So by starting your own print-on-demand shop from scratch on your very own website, it gives you the opportunity to create a brand. A brand is something that people remember, it's something that people are loyal to, and it's something that people are usually repeat buyers for. This gives you a lot more opportunity to sell in the long run and the potential to earn a lot more than you would on a typical print-on-demand platform. It's pretty hard to create your own brand on print-on-demand sites like Redbubble or Society6. Because as much as people might be a fan of your work, they'll always associate you with Redbubble or whatever site that they bought your work from, because that's where you're hosting your shop and that's where they're getting your designs from. It's also hard to get away from their name because they do their advertising under their name, because even if someone sees one of your ads, they will still associate as a Redbubble ad as opposed to an ad for your brand. Of course, creating a brand can take a little bit more time and effort, but it's definitely worthwhile. It's also a great way to expand any existing fan base that you have on any other print-on-demand platforms and bring them to something that is more representative of you, and it can give them more insight into your life or your artwork. So pro number 4, there's lower competition. So because you're selling only your designs on your own website, it decreases the competition when people are looking for something to buy on sites like Redbubble. On those sites, people have so many designs to choose from, and it really increases the competition because if someone's searching for something like cat, you can see how many search results come up, and that means they have all those choices to make before deciding on one to purchase. And to even further that point, if you're not in the first maybe 5 pages, even 5 is a little bit of a stretch sometimes, then people probably won't ever see your design because they aren't likely to look past the first couple of pages. But if you have your own site, then clearly people are coming there for a specific reason. They've already seen something that they like of yours and they're ready to buy. And even if they end up choosing a different design on your website because they found something better than what they initially came for, at least that profit is still going to you and you're not losing that sale to another artist. So now that I've shared some of the biggest pros, I'll quickly go over some of the cons that you can keep in mind as well. So the first con is that you have to bring your own traffic to your store. This is what I consider to be by far the biggest con to starting your own print-on-demand website, because it can definitely be one of the hardest things to accomplish. You really have to make a strategy for how you're going to do this and stick to it, and I'm actually going to make this as its own video in this video series later on. Don't want to overwhelm you with it right now, but just know it's coming, and I just wanted to quickly note it here because, like I said, it's definitely one of the biggest cons. Con number 2, it takes a little bit more time to get your shop up and running. So compared to sites like Redbubble, you definitely have to spend a little bit more time to get your shop up and running and ready for customers to buy from. Some things you'll have to do in this process is actually get your shop up and running. So that means designing your shop, and don't worry, there's lots of templates that you can pick from, so this isn't too hard even if you're a beginner, but it does take some time. You'll also have to install a print-on-demand partner, so something like Printify or Printful, that will attach to your shop and actually do all the shipping, printing, and all that stuff. So that can take a little bit of time. And then of course you have to upload designs and finish the rest of your website. So compared to other print-on-demand sites that can take, an hour to set up, this will definitely take a solid day, but it's definitely worth it because you have the opportunity to make more profits and more sales. But that's where I'm going to leave this video off for today. I think I've covered the most important pros and cons and just giving you some things to consider if you are already thinking about starting your own Shopify print-on-demand website. Like I said before, this is going to be a mini series where I show you how to get your store up and running from start to finish. So keep an eye out for the next one, and if you want to stay up to date with my latest content, make sure to subscribe to my channel so that you get notified when I post new videos and they come directly to your feed. Thanks for watching this video, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!